20 years ago that I'd be standing up here talking about art. Hey, in God, it's all possibility, right? So good morning, and thank you for being here. It's wonderful to see all these lovely faces and some young folks too. So today's talk is the third this month, focusing on our larger spiritual community's global vision relating to beauty, nature, art, and aesthetics. We don't get to talk on aesthetics, but you can't spell that. 2 weeks ago, we started with our first talk, and it was called Experiencing and Expressing Your Beauty. Yes, your beauty. Last week, we talked about guidance to our natural roots. So we talked about beauty, we talked about nature, and today we get into an expression of that, of those characteristics. First is art. Today, I'm suggesting, we left out one word here, didn't we? More? You want more? Well, I wasn't there, but you can't overlook an opportunity to do that, can you? Opening more largely to art, and we do it aligned with the larger spiritual organization, all 250,000 folks, probably 400 or 500 different buildings, churches all over the world. This month is being suggested as that topic, talking about beauty and nature, art and aesthetics, and returning to the old, new thought. That's my message for today. So the emphasis is on beauty, nature, art and aesthetics, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. So what I'm talking about here about opening more largely to art is to grab hold of a resurgence in these sorts of expressions of beauty and expressions of nature. So we realize that using the words renewal and resurgence, which came up in those terms, that there will be change involved. And as our teaching tells us, that change happens not from the outside, not me sitting down at a potter's wheel and throwing clay. It happens first on the inside, doesn't it? It's a change of thought. First change in thinking, then a change in action. When first being presented with a new idea or a new thought of having art take on a larger role in our life, many of our neighbors probably are a little resistant. Art? You gotta be kidding. I'm no good at art. I'm not creative, right? I see some nodding of heads. I'm lousy. And besides, I'm too busy to fit art in. Centers for Spiritual Living, we are not in the business of selling anything to anybody. We don't do that. We provide spiritual tools to transform lives and help make the world a better place. And we come up with ideas that have come through ancestor after ancestor, and we share them. What tools are we talking about then when we are suggesting benefits in doing and making more art? What is it about art that can transform lives and help make the world a better place? Two big questions. Higher education has an interest in this question, believe it or not. There are people out there with doctorates studying the role of art. Reverend Pat did a nice job mentioning that reading. I was blessed to come across that. It was really big for me. I hope it was as big for you. There's a researcher, Dr. Christine Painter, and she explains that there is a relationship between spirituality, creativity, and art. To reply, duh. We sometimes see these things as being disconnected, but they are interwoven. Cultivating the arts as a spiritual practice is a path of freeing our imaginations. We talked about that when we were looking at CSO. Remember the role of imagination, and it's still got a huge role in this conversation. And developing valuable skills for vital living in the world. Spirituality can be considered a search for meaning in life. It can help us to cultivate a relationship to mystery. Spirituality is about transformation and should challenge us to stretch and grow through commitment to a set of practices. And art is right there to be the vehicle. He said quite easily. Unfortunately, modern Western culture has largely emphasized the verbal and the analytic in our educational processes and actually has reduced or removed the creative arts from many public school programs and from everyday experience by professionalizing them. Consumerism further places value only on art that sells, rendering the focus on art as product or commodity. Unless we have been trained as artists, often we shy away from engaging in art. Yet the process of art making itself can be a significant part on our path of self-discovery. For many of us, we might benefit in knowing that in the therapeutic field of expressive arts, the focus is on the process of art making rather than on the art product itself. Art making, putting your hands in the clay, working with that. That's where it is. Those of us who may have had a deflating experience in a school art course, anybody with me on that one? I'll include myself in that group. Not totally turned away, but I still remember it. Grade 5. We need to realize that spiritual life, like expressive arts, is largely about process, not product. We're supposed to be gradually unfolding as the cosmic Christ. Well, I haven't seen the cosmic Christ out there walking around yet. There's a whole bunch of us working at it. That's the process. Engaging in the arts as a spiritual practice means honoring the process of meaning making, of cultivating a relationship with mystery. By making the arts a spiritual practice, we discipline ourselves to make time for our relationship with the sacred dimension through the conscious act of creating. This process of creating or making art, whatever form it takes, embodies potential physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual benefits, particularly dealing with our heart health. Is that a surprise? Art and the heart. Hey, I like that. All of these aspects embody a unique energy that can allow us to live more fully and freely. What are your thoughts as you hear these titles of articles which I have perused? Study finds making art may keep our brains healthy. Art for life's sake, the health benefits of culture. Does art heal? More than a feeling, how the arts affect your health. The mental health benefits of art are for everyone. Make more art. The health benefits of creativity. Raise smart kids. Benefits of arts for kids. And how the arts can help students to excel. Research is doing it. The arts are proven scientifically to lift us. I'll follow that up with some quotations meant to feed your creative soul. Here we go. Open up, please. Jackson Pollock said, "When I say artist, I mean the one who is building things, some with a brush, some with a shovel, some choose a pen. A shovel. Thomas Merton said this about art. Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Elliot Eisner said, art is the literacy of the heart. Andrew Guide said, art is collaboration between God and the artist. And the less the artist, the better. And a fellow named William Shakespeare, the earth has music for those who listen. Just a sample. Why should I be open more largely to art? I came across a wonderful article by a guy named Adam Singer, which provides, I think, the clearest and more thorough summary that I found. So here goes. Creativity breeds success. Whether you are in marketing as an entrepreneur or any part of the business world, cultivating internal creativity is vital. Do you watch TV? Make art instead. Instead of being passively entertained, you could be actively engaged in your mind that might fulfill you and leave you glowing. Art is a lifelong challenge, an infinite intellectual puzzle. Sometimes it can be the case that the more art you do, the less you feel you know. You will meet interesting people and make real connections. Art is a great enabler of opening up to each other and a guaranteed way to connect with like-minded people. Digital technologies have opened up our world, and if somebody is interested and takes it to that level, they enable you to easily share your results with the world. Whether you are into music, photography, or visual art, it's now as easy as clicking a mouse to share your ideas or results. There is no greater freedom or feeling of freedom than involved with the arts. Getting lost in the moment while creating art can be very liberating. There is no wrong answer in art. You can make anything you want, and if it is pleasing to you, it is successful. There is never a wrong answer. You don't have to share it with the world. It is always more enjoyable to make art for intrinsic reasons rather than extrinsic. Yes, you can. To be a human being is to be a creature of creativity. I can't say, I'm just not creative. Art and creative expressive freedom is something that each and every person is capable of, every one of us. To not at least create some art is to not fully embrace your internal capabilities. Cooking is an art, writing, comedy, photography, woodworking, quilting, gardening. Art is really whatever you make of it. The definition is so wide open. Don't be constrained in your thinking of what art is or isn't. Find what creative outlet vibes with your personality and what comes naturally, and you'll know it's right for you. If it's art for you, it's art for you. And that's whoever is interested. It is yours. You will learn things about yourself you didn't know. During hours spent alone engaged in your creative task, your thoughts and mindset will shift into a different state of consciousness, a state of complete freedom perhaps from stress and anxiety and negativity. You will challenge yourself to consistently grow. One of the most rewarding things about making art is the fact that it is never complete. And once you get really into it, you will start on a quest of deep personal involvement. Making art is the ultimate brain boost. Once you are engaged in some artistic pursuit, your mind will constantly be churning with new thoughts, ideas, and imagery in a positive way. People may talk about mental supplements or vitamins, etc., with none making much effect sometimes. Engaging your brain in a true creative activity can really jazz you up. You might never, ever make a dime and be completely happy with it. Some folks have spent a lot of money pursuing their passion without any monetary return, but with huge returns inside where it really counts. It will change your way of thinking about the world in a good kind of way. You will start to see beauty and patterns that you never saw before. You will work indefinitely and infinitely better with your creative team people, maybe down at Heritage House. If you take your art to a higher level, if you work with graphic designers or experts in the field, you'll find that when they are doing their free time, probably they're doing some artwork on their own. Art is the most intimate form of self-expression and a way to connect with others on a deeper level than anything else. Find passion again. I won't ask how many of you are feeling passionate. If you have lost that incredible passion you once had for life, finding a form of art to work on can be the perfect way to respark it. Change people's lives, make others think. An amazing, unexpected byproduct of making art and sharing it through technology is that you can bring happiness to thousands of people you may never meet immediately in person. Occasionally, you may even receive an email for somebody needing to tell you how much your work did for them. Finding meaning. You can find incredible meaning in life by pursuing creative expression. It can be just what you need to conquer internal negativity and conflicts and experience personal growth. Spending time alone, believe it or not, can be beautiful. However, artists are typically not those type who would fear it. They love it. In fact, they embrace it and find the time to be some of their favorite moments alive while working on their craft. An outlet for excessive emotion, feeling depressed, anxious, angry, frustrated. Art can be that perfect outlet that you need that brings about some inner peace for you. Ultimately, a personal healer during stressful times. So the moral of this story, here it is that the process of making art, whether that be writing, painting, quilting, fly tying, any tie flyers, fly tyers, kayakers, dancing, cooking, singing, anything of that sort is good for you. It's good for you. Art is something all individuals can make part of their lives. It can be one of the most fulfilling things you can do as a conscious and creative person. It can be a driving force in your life. It offers the potential to transform us. It offers the option for us to become an outlet for essential energy, inner energy, rather than, for many of us, our always on, always connected world of television, social media, and on-demand everything. Contribute something higher to balance that of lower consumerism. A form of art is within you. I am sure of that. Happy, successful, prosperous journey. I bless you.